Hey guys, this is Full Stuffy Incorporated. I'm here to discuss which variant of Kozmo is the best in this metagame. Yes, I'm going to talk about Kozmo, the Star Wars Wizard of Oz hybrid that is the Kozmo deck. They are mainly a main deck focused deck that rules the battle phase with pilots summoning their bigger ships as quick effects. Their bigger monsters flow into weaker monsters when they go to the graveyard by destruction. And the best part is that Dark Destroyer, Forerunner, Dark Eclipser, and Dark Planet are immune to targeting, which is key to their success in the metagame, which I'm going to talk about. Not only that, but they survive and thrive in links, so don't worry about them being irrelevant. They're probably going to be even more relevant in link format. And also, the big downer for me is that they can be really hard counters by Ultimate Conductor Tyranno because, none of their monsters float off of that effect of Ultimate Conductor. But they can run a plethora of traps depending on the variant. So I feel like that I have faith in this variant, and any variant they may bring in the Kozmo to a tournament. So I feel like that Kozmo's going to do pretty well. And before we get started, I'm about to tell you which variants I'm going over, which would be Artifact Kozmo, Fire King Kozmo, Demise Kozmo, and 50 to 60 card Metal Foes Kozmo variants, including Zodiac, which every variant can use Zodiac aside from Demise, because card Demise prevents special summoning, so why ever run the Zoo engine in there? Anyway, let's start with Artifact Kozmo. They can look out the extra deck with ease, with cards like, with Scythe, and cards like Sanctum to get Scythe, and you can even use Slipwire to destroy a Scythe on your opponent's turn so you can lock them out. And also, their aggression is no lower than with Pure, as Pleiades is much easier to summon, considering that artifacts are light monsters. But there's a few things about it after I tell you that it can easily shut down Zoo turns, and oh my gosh, it can run a ton of traps. But the only downer for me, really, is that true Dracos are not harmed by artifacts at all. And honestly, unless your opponent summons a masterpiece that uses the spell and trap but not a monster, then you're going to have a really hard time facing them. So I feel the Artifact Kozmo may not be the best variant. And I feel the same way about the next variant, which is Fire King Kozmo. This is by far the most aggressive build of Kozmo to date, and is easily the best deck to utilize Kozmo Dark Planet. And it can fully operate just the same as Pure, whether you can summon Dark Planet or not. Fire King Island enables so many combos, but it's not always necessary. Dark Planet destroys True Dracos in Zoo, unless they use Kaijus, because you can stop their Tenkies, you can stop their barrages, you can stop their Draconic Diagrams. The list goes on, guys. It's incredible. But the bad things about him is that it is the most fragile build of Kozmos imaginable, seems susceptible to hand traps like Ghost Dash and, what was his face? Ghost Ogre. But, it's not the end of the world. And if you draw Fire King, Avatar Grunge, or any Fire King you're using, or using a Dark Planet without the fodder, they'll end up being as dead cards. But it's up to you to find out whether the cards are worth drawing. You gotta find it's worth drawing to have some of the best plays that Kozmos can have. Now, the next variant I'm going to discuss is Demise Kozmo. It is arguably the most consistent Kozmo build to date. Carved Demise, along with Kozmo Town, can guarantee you more traps and fill in your graveyard with Tin Can to revive and hardlock your opponent with various traps and recurable Kozmo cards with Kozmo Town, with cards that call the Haunted and a list of Dragon Souls to bring the monsters back. That means you can run a plethora of trap cards, like Cosmojo, like Bottomless, like Torrential. Torrential's probably the best example. You just destroy your ships if you need to. You can get a Dark Lady or something to negate one more time. So I feel like that this is the most consistent Kozmo build to date. The slowest, mind you, but it's very consistent. And getting Tin Can is not very hard either. I mean, you can use MST or something to destroy Combo Town, get Tin Can. It's not that hard to do, guys. But the downers, though, is that it's the slowest variant of Kozmo to date. And also, oh man, this deck loses hard to Drew Dracos. And he can't run Kaijus either. So I feel like that Demise Kozmo is probably the worst matchup you can have with Artifact Kozmo if you were to go up against True Dracos. But then again, it's not that hard to switch between variants. It's not that hard to get Slumber and Kaijus if you were to run them in the side deck if you ever wanted to. And the last variant, as I'm going to mention, is 50 to 60 card Metal Foes Kozmo variants, including Zodiac. Let me explain this one. This deck is pretty much there just to completely trick your opponent into thinking that you're playing a 60-card deck that runs lawn mowing. And I feel like that in itself is hilarious. Because you're going against Infernoids, you have that matchup in the bag. Because they can only send up, at best, 3 cards if you're going first. Because you tend to not have to worry about much plays. So I feel like that 50 to 60 card Metalfoes Kozmo variants are really freaking good right now, because you can pencil summon your shits, and they'll get effects off when they're summoned. Well, aside from Landwalker and Dark Lady, but still. I feel like that this deck in itself is incredible. It just has everything it needs to be a high legitimate contender. In this next list, this current list, and in link format. I don't see any real problem with this one if you're running Zoo, because Zoo is pretty much a near flawless engine. But if your opponent summons out Scythe or something, you're not in big trouble. Because, Cosmos can run themselves, and Metalfoes can enable your plays more so. But which variant do I feel like is the best to date right now in this current format? I have to say Demise Kozmo, because you have so much consistency with cards like Card of Demise, Cosmo Town to return your ships, Pod Duality to search the cards you need, and so on. Into the Void. There's so much this deck can use. And you can use just as many trap cards. So I feel like that in itself, Demise Kozmo is going to possibly be the best variant right now in this metagame. Because there's sheer consistency. The cards they can pull. They can summon Dark Lady from the graveyard or summon it off a tin can. Or you can just use cards like Cosmojo to get rid of threats, get rid of Draconic Diagrams, get rid of some like Dark Destroyer, destroy Dynamite Fist, then Cosmojo on the Draconic Diagram, using the summon Slip Rider, destroy Spoiler Trap, and so on. So the matchup is very varying, unless they summon Masterpiece and use a monster, in which case you're in big trouble. But right now, in my opinion, I feel like that Demise Kozmo is the best variant. It's the least fragile, and it's probably the definition of slow steady wins the race in this format. So Demise Kozmo, in my opinion, is probably the best one. Aggression is needed, but who needs it when you got card Demise, right? Because most of the time in this metagame, you either run card Demise or the Zoo engine, or you lose. So yeah, I feel like that in itself, this deck is the best variant in this metagame. And it probably won't be until link format where this deck can probably shine a bit more. But for right now, I feel like that Demise Kozmo is the best variant. I said that a lot now, haven't I? So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And if you guys like it, hit that like button, subscribe, join the private army, and together we will beat the meta. Talk to you guys next time, and hopefully you'll enjoy my next video, and hopefully I can get my internet up soon. So, yeah, talk to you guys next time. Take care of yourselves. Get gaming, get dueling, and use fluffles or something. Take care.